Hi everyone, it's me, Jordan Long here, and today I'm going to talk about this one thing that, always happens. Well, someone always asks me this. Oh, you should be a YouTube mate. No, I don't want to be a YouTube mate. Why not? Well, for all these downsides that I'd be putting myself and my YouTube fairway under, and a lot more oversights that I don't want to be underneath. Well, you're already following the YouTube Webstead oversight and a YouTube followership oversight and YouTube ownership oversight. Yeah, and those are the only oversights that I made a stand that I would follow or uphold. I don't want to be underneath the YouTube boostering oversight, the YouTube mateship oversight, or Google AdSense oversight. I don't want to also have to be answerable for toll that's taken out or is not taken out of any of the income that comes from Alphabet, Google, YouTube, or whatever. Well, yeah, well, yeah, there doesn't really seem to be any upside to it. Except, oh, you're going to be making gold or income. That might be the only upside to it. But no, I don't want to be underneath any more of those oversights. Yeah, I don't want to come on and every time I make a film, I don't have to go through and answer a whole bunch of things like, well, did you say this in your film? Did you do that in your film? I don't want to be taking all this time to tell YouTube what is or is not in my film. You know? And I'm in good standing with all of those three things. I don't want to always be frightened or be worried that I'm going to lose my good standing with either YouTube Webstead oversight, YouTube followership oversight, YouTube ownership oversight, YouTube boostering oversight, YouTube followership oversight, or Google AdSense. It's way too smooth to lose your good standing with any one of those things. And I don't want to be in it. And if that makes me look bad, oh well. You know, I didn't come on YouTube to make a business out of it. I didn't come on the interweb to make a business out of it. If that's what someone came on to do, then all good for them, But that was never my goal. Hey, but it'll always be great. You know, I don't know why, because I thought you would like YouTube mateship or something. You think I'd like that? No, I never liked YouTube mateship. I never, and guess what? Even if I wanted it, that I don't, you think I'm going to get in? No. I don't got enough watch time. I don't have enough followers. So why the hell would I want to go through something I know I'm never going to get? And it's never, it'll never be my goal. It was never my goal to be a YouTube mate. Well, Jordan, I was just putting that out there for you. I know you're putting it out there for me, Mary Jane, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be a YouTube mate. It's never been my goal. Actually, that would besmirch my whole YouTube fairway. And if there's some mates out there are mad that I have scaved YouTube mateship or said no to it, or said there were way too many downsides, there are. They bitch about, I don't want to be one of those folks that come on and bitch about, oh, and guess what? I don't want to be one of those folks that come on and bitch about how YouTube always shifts the oversight when it comes to mateship or when it comes to boostering all the time. YouTube's always shifting the YouTube boostering oversight, the YouTube showing oversight, which most likely is Google, that shifts the oversight on the boostering and the showing, so YouTube has to uphold that. And YouTube always shifting the oversight on the YouTube mateship oversight all the time. So why the hell would I want to be underneath oversight that's always shifting all the time? Well, why do I want to be underneath that? You got a good grounds for that. Self clear my throat. Why would you want to be underneath that? I don't know. So, first off, I just want to say I'm sad for clearing my throat. Two, I don't want to be a YouTube mate. And every time it comes up, it's always the same old saga, the same old tale. Way too many oversights to follow. Way too many things to take up your time. Why do I want to be underneath more oversight? And the oversight that shifts all the time. Yeah, YouTube mateship shifts all the time. YouTube boostering and showing oversight, which shifts all the time because Google shifts how the mateship, Google shifts how the boosterings and showings work, so that's always shifting all the time. And why do I want to be underneath Google AdSense when we know that might shift all the time too? So no thank you. And then why do I want to be answerable for land Reich Earl-de-Manier toll, either it's taken down or not? Well, I want that on my head. So at the end of the day, the answer is no. I don't want to be a mate. I'll never be a mate, and that's never going to shift. Alright? And for folks who get into mateship and deal with all the new oversights that they took a stand to uphold and be underneath, well, good for them. I'm not going to be one of them. And if there's someone out there that gets irked and mad over that, way too bad. Like someone that says, how dare you say no to YouTube mateship? How dare you say no to not wanting to be a YouTube mate? How dare you say no to not wanting to be underneath more oversight than you already are? You know what? You're what's wrong with this website. You should be ashamed of yourself. Everyone wants to be a YouTube mate. No, they don't. Not everyone wants to be a YouTube mate. And I don't want to be underneath all that new oversight, all those other oversights that you fall underneath once you become a YouTube mate. What about a business deal? Do y'all really want to be underneath oversight of some business that wants their shit boosted and showing in my films? And then they can either bitch or bitch about either I wasn't following their oversight right or wasn't getting their shit sold. So no, why do I want to be underneath that too? That's another thing. Why do I want to get any deal from any business that wants their shit boostering, their shit sold, their shit shown, their shit boostering? No. So I can be underneath some more oversight, so they can then bitch at me and say, well, you didn't follow this or you didn't follow that. You didn't get our stuff sold. No thank you. Do I really want to be underneath that too? So no thank you. I just like being a non-YouTube mate with the gifts and oversight that comes with being a non-YouTube. Just being a non-mate. Oh well. Well, I was just saying, Jordan, how some of these folks behave like when you say no to that. Oh, I know, Mary Jane, and they gotta get a life. If they want to be YouTube mates and they want to follow all the other oversights that they put themselves underneath, then good for them. If they want to make a business out of it and they want business deals and this and that, then good for them. But not me. If they want to have all this toll that they got to be answerable for to the land Reich Earl-de-Manier, Lamotes, and good for them then. Not me. So at the end of the day, I don't want to be a YouTube mate. Never do, never will. I'm happy with just being a non-mate, following the YouTube webstead oversight, the YouTube followership oversight, the YouTube ownership oversight. That's it. And so I don't get boosterings and showings on my films. I don't really want that either. So I don't make no income. I don't want that either. At the end of the day, I just like being a non-YouTube mate. If you like that film, then follow me here at Jordan Long over here, or watch my last film over here. I'm Jordan Long, and I'll see you tomorrow.